What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel. As the starting 11 prediction for the big one tomorrow, it's the derby at Celtic Park, and Celtic have the opportunity to move 19 points clear and basically put two hands on the league title. We're also out to avenge that defeat in the last derby at Ibrox, so there's no shortage of motivation, no shortage of incentives for the team tomorrow. Really looking forward to the game. The away allocation is back. There will be 2,500 Rangers fans there. I think that's going to give something to the atmosphere. It's going to give it an extra edge, an extra intensity. And like I say, what a prospect for us to be playing at home in this fixture and to have that opportunity to move 19 points clear. So really looking forward to the game. Rangers come into it off the back of that second leg against Fenerbahce the other night. They did go to extra time and to a penalty shootout. They managed to win the penalties. It's not always the case that will make them really out on their feet and tired and lacklustre in this game. You only have to look at a recent example in this very fixture back in 2021 when they played a Europa League tie on the Thursday before the Scottish Cup semi-final, and they managed to edge that game in extra time. Brendan Rodgers yesterday also citing an example from his own career when he was at Leicester of playing Man City on Boxing Day and then Liverpool 2 days later and actually winning the second game against Liverpool despite the short turnaround. So it's not always the case that the team that's played 2 or 3 days prior is going to be out on their feet and absolutely knackered and a spent force. That's not always the case. Let's hope it is. Let's hope Rangers are spent physically and mentally from what they put into the game the other night. But we have to prepare for them to be at their best so that we can bring our best level to the game, and we know that if we turn up and play to our best level, we will win the game. Brendan Rodgers clearly out to right the wrongs of that performance at Ibrox in January. It was the worst performance from a Brendan Rodgers side in this fixture by a mile. It's probably one of, if not our worst performance of the season as well. We just didn't get going. We didn't respond to going behind early, and the first goal in this fixture is always massive. So it's all about a fast start tomorrow, getting the crowd, the home crowd, behind us. And if we go and get at Rangers and put them under pressure, and we can get that first goal, and if we get it early, hopefully we'll be well on our way to another memorable day. But like I say, we've just got to be careful. We can't underestimate Rangers, despite the fact that their domestic form has been a mess this season, the inconsistency they've had. They are suited to playing on the counter attack. I think if you go back to the cup final in the first half, they had that sort of mid press set up that was causing us problems, and we caused our own problems because we were playing so slowly and making so many mistakes. And then obviously the game at Ibrox, where again we were second best that day, so we've got to be aware that that can't happen again, and we've got to start the game with the right intensity and the right intent to go and be on the front foot and get after Rangers from minute one. Let's have a look then at the team for tomorrow's game. I don't think there's too much to debate in terms of the Celtic lineup tomorrow. I think this team that I'll pick is the team that most of you would pick. It will start in goals with Casper. There's absolutely no doubt around that one. Thinking back to that game at Ibrox, I don't think he had a great day. Obviously, he's conceded 3 times. That was unlike him this season. Since he's arrived at Celtic, he's been absolutely superb. He'll want to keep a clean sheet tomorrow, and he'll want that defensive intensity from the players in front of him, not just the back four, but all the way through the pitch. To Daizen Maeda and the forward line as well. I think Brendan Rodgers has talked a lot about how pressing is the thing that sets the standard for everything else in the team's game. And that's why tomorrow we've got to start well in that aspect and get after Rangers, and hopefully that'll lead us on to a really good performance. Back four, Johnston, Carter Vickers, Trusty and Sloop. First of all, Liam Scales not in contention because he's still got this cheek injury. Brendan Rodgers saying yesterday he might need surgery. They're just waiting on news about that. So I don't think there's any debate that'll be the back four. Could Taylor come back in for Jeffrey Sloop? Possibly. I just don't see it given how Jeffrey's playing. I think he's been really good. I think he brings a physicality and a dynamism to that position. I think it'll be good to see him in a fixture like this because he's going to have to obviously do some defending, and he's got to be wary of, I think Rangers, clearly their biggest threat is Czerny on the right hand side, so that's who he'll be up against. He'll need to do his defensive work diligently. but he can offer as a threat going forward. He's comfortable on the ball. He's played in midfield, down in the Premier League as well. Played in a few different positions. We know he's got that versatility, but he's played left back for us and he's done very, very well. So I just don't see Greg Taylor coming back in tomorrow. I think how he's played, he absolutely deserves to go and start this game tomorrow. We need a big performance from the centre halves as well. Carter Vickers I thought was really good last weekend. If it is to be Dessers up front for Rangers, will he peel off onto Trusty and try and take up a physical battle there? Because with Carter Vickers, it's obviously more difficult. So we need Trusty to stand up and be strong and bring one of those almost Champions League-like performances, because that's probably been Trusty's highlights in a Celtic shirt so far. The way he's defended, the way he's performed in some of those big Champions League games have probably been his best outings for Celtic. We need another one of those tomorrow. In the midfield, McGregor, Engels, Hatate. Callum absolutely nailed it, by the way. If you haven't watched the preview show that we did the other day, I'll link it up here and at the end in the description. But Callum said maybe McGregor's nursing something because he's come off in the last two games, and I think he did confirm himself yesterday, Callum McGregor, that he's got a bit of a calf issue. He's been managing it for the last couple of weeks, and he's going to see how he goes today in training before knowing if he's fit and ready to go for Sunday. Brendan Rodgers saying that's what they did last week in the lead up to the Hibs game, so he's had a very similar training week, so he's obviously been training individually at times and away from the group, just trying to lessen the strain on that calf injury. So let's hope he's good to go tomorrow. If by any way he's not ready, I think obviously the only option is to put Engels in that deeper position and bring Luke McEwen in, and that would demand a lot of Engels in that position because he's not played in this fixture in that Callum McGregor role before, and McGregor's got a lot of experience in that in terms of tactically dictating how we play, and he would really need to step up in that role. But also Luke McEwen coming in for a first start in this fixture, we would need a huge day out of him as well. But let's hope Callum's fine, and that'll be the three again. Hatate, talk about him recently in terms of, again, that consistency that he's lacked at times throughout this season. We know that he's got an abundance of technical ability. He can find the pass to unlock a defence. He can really be a pivotal player for us. But if you go back to that game at Ibrox, he's right up there as one of the poorer performers on the day. So he's got to have a big day tomorrow. I want to see an intensity from him. I want to see him with the ball and without the ball, right at it from the word go, and determined to put in a better display than he did in that game at Ibrox. So front three, Kuhn on the right hand side, Jota on the left, and Dyson through the middle. There's obviously a few options for the manager with that front three. We could go with the physical presence of Adam Ida and put Dyson on the left hand side, where he's done so well in this fixture. He's been a constant thorn in Rangers' side. Kyogo scored 8 goals against Rangers in his time here, and he became a real thorn in their side. But if you look at Dyson in the last 18 months to 2 years against Rangers, he's got numerous goals. He's a constant threat for them, even going back the way when he's played left wing. His defensive work has been brilliant against Tavernier, and he's given him absolute nightmares. Now, Willer Rangers are going to play a 3 at the back, as they have been, a 3 with wing backs, which obviously goes into a 5 when they're defending. That's what they've done in the games against Fenerbahce. Tavernier has been playing as the right side centre half. So if Dyson is through the middle, can he play on that? Can he get out to that side and really be a threat in that channel in between Tavernier and, if it is to be, Sterling in the right wing back? I think Jota is a good option. Numerous brilliant moments, iconic moments in this fixture for Jota, so we know he can do it. Yes, he's getting back to his top level. He's not there yet. He's only really been in the door 5 or 6 weeks, and you can tell at times that he's not back up to where we've seen him before, but he's still got that quality there, and I think this is a game that he will absolutely relish tomorrow. Kuhn on the right hand side, not quite at his best at the minute, but again, a great opportunity for him to perform. He was poor at Ibrox, I think, in the second half of the cup final. He absolutely tore Yefte to shreds, and Rangers had to make a sub, so we're looking for that kind of performance out of him. But again, he has just tailed off from those heights at the start of the season. And Dyson, as I say, through the middle. What a season he's having, what form he's in. We know that he's so alive in the box, and he can finish. And tomorrow, against the ball. He's going to be a nightmare to play against for Rangers, and I think if he gets a chance, if we can get that service to him and play with that intensity, you'd back him to get on the score sheet once again. I just think Ida is a better option off the bench for us, given how the game, depending how the game plays out into that second half after the hour mark, 60-65 minutes. He can be an option for us. If Jota tires, we know that we can bring Ida on, put him through the middle, bring Dyson out to the left-hand side. That's probably definitely something we'll see. No, probably, it's definitely something we'll see at some point in the game. So that's 11 I think the manager's going to go with. What a huge game for us tomorrow. Absolutely buzzing for it. Can't wait for it. Let's hope we can go and perform, and as I say, take a massive step towards this league title, and more importantly, banish the memory of that game at Ibrox in January. Wherever you're watching the game tomorrow, enjoy it. Like the video, give us your own thoughts on who you would start tomorrow below, and we'll see you after the game with the full-time reaction, and the post-match pint is back from Malone's as well. Thank you.